Hi, pal. Well, let's move on. Let's talk about Revolution, AEW's big spring pay-per-view. The show was headlined by Bryan Danielson versus MJF, which we'll talk about. But yeah, just overall, for me, I watched the whole show. You only saw the main event, right?
Yeah, I saw like highlights and little bits of the other stuff, and I watched the main event near enough in its entirety. So that was my consumption. You watched basically the whole thing. Kevin, what were your thoughts? Did you like the show? Just give us a general opinion.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing aside from the pre-show match. Just wasn't really intrigued in that. There's a lot of things that I'm not going to touch involving the pre-show match and Mark Briscoe and promotional tactics that we've seen. Nevertheless, moving on. But overall, I thought the entire show, top to bottom, was really good. And I think it's in the front runner for AEW's best pay-per-view ever. And this was, what, the fourth edition of Revolution? We're looking at the fifth edition of Double or Nothing coming on pretty soon. So
Yep.
we've been around for about 5 years now with AEW pay-per-views. And this one just delivered in a way that I was not expecting. I think that was part of it. The build was kind of lackluster, but there was so much to like about this show. I mean, this was the showcase for the young stars. Hangman Page beat Moxley. The House of Black beat the Elite. Jungle Boy beat Christian. Ricky Starks beat Jericho. Hangman beat Moxley. I think I said that already. Wardlow beat Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
And MJF beat Bryan Danielson. All across the card is young talent going over, which is just something that I think was necessary. I mean, the name of the show is Revolution, about change. It's about fresh and doing things differently, which is what we saw. I was pleasantly surprised by the opening match. I thought that was Chris Jericho's best non-gimmicky match, non-hardcore match, non-ladder match, whatever that he's had. So that's a credit to Ricky Starks for being able to help carry it along Chris Jericho at this stage of his career to a good match. But really what I want to focus on, and is the most controversial match the entire night, and that's Hangman Page versus John Moxley. I'd love to get your thoughts on this. I watched the match. I thought it was good. A lot of people on the internet thought it was too much blood, and I think a lot of people do that just for attention, for
Yeah.
interaction, for debate. I thought it was good. Overall, what do you think? How do you feel about this style of wrestling that we've seen from John Moxley? This Texas Death Match or the hardcore lights out match, that style of match that Moxley's been famous for since he went to AEW?
Uh, that style isn't for me personally, but it doesn't mean I hate it, right? Like I watched bits of this. I was seeing clips. Yeah, obviously, there's obviously going to be blood. Duh. That's not surprising. But some of the use of weapons and like weapons is a bit of a stretch for some of the things they use. But yeah, I wasn't like one of the people online who was freaking out about this, acting as though it was like the worst garbage wrestling match we've seen. Like, it's not for everyone, and that's this style. I mean, I remember watching the Lights Out match with Moxley and Omega back at Full Gear 19, so the first year of AEW, and I was like, this isn't for me, but I still enjoy it, and that's how I felt with this match from what I've seen. Like, it wasn't a match which I'm gonna desperately go back to rewatch just because that style I don't particularly enjoy, but it was on the night and for a pay-per-view match. I mean, Hangman went over. I thought it came off decently. Like, I mean, Ken, what do you think? What do you think?
I thought it was really good. I mean, people have been wanting a more adult-oriented style of wrestling, and then now AEW is giving it to them, and people are upset. That's a little bit confusing. I mean, people want blood, they want violence, but then they get it and they're upset. I'm a little confused about that, but nevertheless, yeah, the match was good. There was nothing wrong with it. I thought, yeah, you could maybe some people might cringe at like Moxley using a screwdriver or whatever it was. I forgot what it was that he was like digging in Hangman's forehead.
Oh, he's using a fork, pal.
Fork, yeah, crossing the line, pal. Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was a good match. Like, it was maybe Hangman's best match. And one thing with Hangman is that he's pretty good at when he has an opponent. He's pretty good at wrestling up to that credible opponent style or stardom. when it's Moxley, when it's Punk, he's pretty good. I hope Hangman, he can use the momentum garnered from this win and kind of stand on his own and help get people to the next level that are not at his level.